Now I'll throw it over to Frank Buchholz with his first question for Henry Braun.
Thank you very much, Tim. Homelessness has been a big issue in Abbotsford. It's been an issue which has attracted attention outside Abbotsford, and of course it's an issue which affects all communities in our region. And but probably Abbotsford has got some of the most attention. And I would like to ask you, Mr. Braun and Mr. Banman, to respond as well. What is your position on dealing with the obvious street homelessness problem that's there, and of course some of the underlying issues, and how does it differ from that of your competitor?
Well, we have, in my view, and I've said this many times publicly, mismanaged this whole situation. The decisions we made have, over the last decade, have not improved the situation at all. We had something called the harm reduction bylaw, which precluded Fraser Health from doing a lot of things. We knocked down a lot of old houses, which put people on the street. I mean, affordable housing is an issue. We also turned down $15.4 million from the province. We could have built some facilities, 21 units, that would have helped alleviate this. People would be in these, the people in the units would have been there for 24 months, and then you get a new 20 more people into the building. And we would have connected these, we would have, first of all, known who these people are, known what their needs are, and connected them to the service providers and the facilities that they need. Because this is not just, homeless is not just one set of people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Braun. Mr. Banman, you have 1 minute.
Well, you know, I think that first off, I fought hard to change the harm reduction bylaw that is within Abbotsford. I don't think the city should be telling the Fraser Health Authority how to conduct their business. As a chiropractor, I have great respect for the health Authority. I also think that we have changed the way we're doing things. Abbotsford had a homeless task force. There was some great recommendations that came out of that task force. The number one thing is the key that helped in Lethbridge, Alberta, was identifying those who are at risk of becoming homeless. So if you're coming out of detox, for instance, it makes no sense to return you back to the streets. We need to have a place for you to go. Same thing if you finally got into and left the mental health unit and you finally got your medications clear. Much of our homeless are mentally ill. They need a place to go as well. We are working hard with our support providers, and we're also working with the Fraser Health Authority and BC Housing to help solve this very complex issue.
Thank you very much. And 5 minutes of open debate begins now. Anyone can jump right in.
Well, just to pick up on what the mayor said, yes, the task force. I'm grateful to the work of the task force. The problem is, though, that much of what came out of that task force was already known. We have studied this to death for the last 6 or 7 years. We know what needs to be done. What we need now is some action, and that has been lacking. And because we turned down this project, we have put ourselves another 8 months behind the 8 ball, and things aren't getting better, and we're going to go through one more winter with people being on the street because we don't have sufficient places to house people.
You know, it's interesting that I think that what's a better way to run a community is actually to have a community embrace a project. This particular project that Henry's talking about was incredibly controversial. The entire business core was opposed to it because they were never consulted in the first place. Now what we've done is, you know, I always said that it was the right project in the wrong place. Now what we have is we have a project that's being embraced by the business community, that they're for the new location that we've come up with. And for the first time, it's my understanding in history, BC Housing, Fraser Health Authority, and the city are all working together. I would much rather wait, find a project that works, that's embraced, than to try and push something down someone's throat that they do not want and will not embrace and is going to be nothing but a fight. I respect that the C7 zoning that Mr. Braun has talked about many times, the C7 zoning, they cleaned up that city by being able to take certain rules. They came to the city and said, look, we will pay an additional tax. We will put money into our downtown and revitalize it, which they've done, if you give us the following conditions. The conditions were no more tattoo parlors, no more secondhand stores, community services, we have enough of them. We don't want another church because it's a trouble on our parking. There was a whole raft of agreements. I believe you honor your agreements that you have, that you keep your word. But you also consult. That lack of consultation was not taken place with regards to the downtown business community.
Well, with respect.
And now, well, but let me finish. But now what we have is we have everyone pulling together to try and make a project that is now the right idea in the right place that is going to be embraced by the community. I think that's a far wiser way to go.
The city picked this site that we turned down. This happened long before I came to council, and including the mayor. During his tenure as mayor, in February of 2012, BC Housing and Abbotsford Community Services asked for a meeting, would we consider giving them a road right-of-way to facilitate the construction of this building. We said yes to that under this mayor's leadership. So and there was 9 months of consultation after this was public. To try to make this sound like there was no consultation, there has been no consultation on this project that we're going to be dealing with on Monday, or at least a public hearing. We're trying to ram
I disagree. There's been tons of consultation. The business community has been included in this. So have our support providers have been included in this. So has the BC Housing. So has Fraser Health. They've all been included. That's what consultation is. We are going to have the right idea. And I look forward to the fact that the province is going to support this particular initiative. This is the right way to go about doing business, to be embracive and consult and to bring everyone into the tent. We are going to go through a public hearing, and we will have a chance to listen to what the public and the neighborhood has to say. And I predict at the end of the day that this thing will be a home run.
And the public, in February when we turned down Abbotsford Community Services, was overwhelmingly in support. So to suggest that the community was not for that proposal is nonsense. Yes, there was a group of people in the Downtown Business Association, but what we're going to look at this Monday is 120 meters closer to the center core of the downtown area to suggest that this was going to destroy the downtown in February, and now that we're going to embrace it, defies logic. And I don't understand how.
And that's the problem, is that you don't understand what consultation is all about. That is the foundation of the problem, that you don't understand an agreement that was made, and you don't understand the principles behind that agreement. And I support jobs where time after time you have voted against jobs, and I support jobs in the downtown core.
I have not voted against job. The C7 zone is different than the BIA.
Thank you very much, candidates. Thank you.